and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. I had spoken with a few parents over the last week. I know everybody's anxious to see where we're headed with your children in their first big ceremony within their life. So I know that we were what it appeared to be as we were slow on the draw to get to you, but we were actually trying to plan a couple of things, and we have planned a few things, and we're going to share them this evening. But also we were waiting on one possible graduation venue that did not come through for us. So we're going to share this evening with our ideas, and then once I turn the show over to Mr. Malloy, he will go through the presentation and work with his colleagues at the high school, and then culminate with a collaborating event at the end, where we hear some ideas to share them out, and then we'll incorporate some of these great recommendations like we did last year. Some of the best ideas for last year's graduation came from meetings such as this. So greatly appreciate those of you who are going to come on and share this evening. And we're happy to inform everybody of our upcoming events if you didn't have anything to share. So Mr. Malloy, I'd like to turn the show over to you.
Thanks, Mr. Barrett. I appreciate it. I'll first apologize for the fact that my camera's not working, and maybe that's lucky for everybody not having to look at my ugly mug. But what we'd like to do tonight is, number one, to thank everybody for joining us this evening to discuss some items concerning the class of 2021. Specifically on our agenda tonight is going to be Mr. Mike McCree discussing our plans for athletic awards. Mrs. Crystal Langdon's going to talk a little bit about academic awards, caps and gowns, possibly some other items relating to our senior class. Mrs. Nicole Hummer is going to talk about summer remediation needs, transcripts, college applications, and information pertaining to jobs and local industries. Once Mrs. Hummer has concluded, I'll discuss our current plans for graduation as we approach the end of the year. But again, starting us off is going to be Mr. McCree talking about athletic awards.
Guys, good evening. Sorry, I just came off the athletic field. We had a couple events. Some of you may have heard last week, we wound up getting some of the senior student athletes together, kind of forming an unofficial committee where they're reaching out to their fellow seniors that played sports. And we want to give them some ownership, or I want to give them some ownership of what we're going to do. And we kind of came up together with an idea of starting a new tradition for senior athletes and using this beautiful courtyard we have and having just the senior athletes, their coaches, a little cookout and a theme. They're working on the theme, but I was told today it looks like it's going to be an Hawaiian theme. So that'll come out in the near future. At that thing, each coach will get a chance to present their athletes, their senior plaque. I know we didn't have anything last year, so every one of the seniors, will get a letter, regardless if they got one in the past, and pins for everything they did. Mr. Petro, Miss Langdon, Miss Hummer, all helped in the planning. So we're going to roll with that with the kids and have them kind of take some ownership with that. Mr. Barrett has cordially invited to work the grill. I'm working on Mr. Malloy. So hopefully we're going to have a good time, with that. We're also in the process working with the students, another committee of doing a sort of a YouTube video highlighting their senior careers, with videos from the coaches, the athletes, and then we'll have some awards at that point going out and introduced. The seniors also going to work with me helping getting the other lettermen their letters, which we're currently planning. So I'm kind of excited. I think we have a great senior class, especially the athletes. They seem pretty excited. I left pretty excited, and I'm getting emails, some ideas. We got a couple surprises that they have done. So hopefully it's going to turn out all right, and I'll answer questions. I know you guys really want to hear about graduation, but I think we have a nice plan, and the kids are doing a great job with it.
Thanks, Mr. McCree. Ms. Langdon? You may be muted.
I apologize. Good evening, everyone. I do apologize for my background here. I just wanted to go over a few exciting things that I'm looking forward to speaking to you briefly about. The first thing is about academics. Here we are going to do academics a little differently. We are going to hold it virtual. It will be available, the virtual presentation, on our Hanover area YouTube channel, but our children will be able to receive their awards in person, and there will be a picnic style, something very similar to the athletic, and they will be involved. Along with Mr. McCree, I have already formed sort of an unofficial type of committee. There'll be involvement from naturally administration as well from guidance that we will contribute together, and we will form something that will satisfy all of our children and that they'll have great closure in regards to their academic success. All of your students will be notified by an official phone call and or letter that will be received on their Google Classroom, that they'll know that they have been invited. And I'll have further information regarding the date, probably within the next week or so. I'm hoping by early next week. Also, I wanted to let you know regarding caps and gowns, a lot of phone calls. We unfortunately still have about a small percentage of our class that have not ordered caps and gowns. We've been aggressively reaching out to them. It's starting to move quickly. As soon as all the cap and gowns are received and at the school, we will be setting up a distribution date, and more of that information will be forwarded to each and every one of you a little bit later on. From past presidents, we've always done it closer to graduation, and that's for the safety of the cap and gown distribution, because unfortunately, a lot of teenagers, will sort of hold it or throw it in their car, and we want to make sure everything is perfect for graduation day. And one of my final things that I'm very excited about is that, yes, the class of 2021 is definitely having a homecoming. Very excited about it. It will be a little different than previous, but I'll have a little bit more of a stronger outline available over the next day or so. I would like to inform the committee first and speak with them, and involve some of our administration naturally, as well as guidance. And we do have a strong outline on it. And we're hoping for strong involvement from the community for the procession and for the involvement, that we can sort of send off all of your children, properly and with great.
Did we lose the ending there?
I think we did.
Mrs. Langdon, can you please unmute?
Well, it sounds like Ms. Langdon may be having some technical difficulties, and I think she had gotten through most of what her plans were to talk about, and maybe she can jump back in as we progress forward here. But I know we have Mrs. Hummer also that has some valuable information for our seniors as well.
Hello to my fellow parents. I can't believe this time has come, that we are closing out our children's senior year. It's amazing how quick this year has gone, but I'm so happy that we are going to be able to celebrate our seniors in this way at the end of this school year. It's been a long, crazy year. So there's some final things that you're going to be hearing from the guidance office, and I'll be reaching out to any student who might be short of credits for graduation or may need to go to summer school. Those letters will start to go out next week. I'm currently going through students' transcripts just to make sure they're not short of anything in order to graduate. Final transcripts for those students who have applied to colleges will be going out the week after graduation. All of the colleges that students got approved for, who got accepted to, I should say, need a final transcript in order to close out their high school account. So I'll be doing that the week after school gets out. if you have any concerns about still applying for college or financial aid, you can always reach out to me, reach out to guidance at extension 505. That's my secretary, Kim Josefovich, or myself at extension 141. It's a little crazy now. A lot of students and parents are reaching out to me with some great questions in regards to graduation, but I'm really, really looking forward to this celebration for our kids. One of the big things that just came across my way was information that local companies are in dire need of workers, employers. I've had numerous companies reach out to me, from the industrial park all the way up to Hershey Chocolate up in the Hazleton area. And one is as close as our school to the Sansui Highway, which was Rifkin. They are looking for full-time workers. So if your student is unable to go to college or is not ready to do so, I can certainly set them up with an interview and possibly a full-time job after graduation. So that's pretty exciting. Over the past few years, it's been hard to find work, but there are so many companies looking for individuals to work full-time, and really at good rates. We're talking $16, $17, $18 an hour to start with benefits. So I have lots of information. You could tell your students that I'll be posting it on the senior Google Classroom for them as well. And that's pretty much it from me. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at graduation, and thanks for being patient. Thanks for being here tonight to hear this information. Thanks.
Thanks, Ms. Hummer. And before I go on to talk a little bit about graduation and what that's going to look like, I'll respond to Mr. McCree and say I will be happy to work the grill with Chef Barrett, and I will be sporting my Hawaiian shirt. As I think everyone knows, we have reviewed a number of possibilities for graduation this year, including and not limited to the drive-in and Lackawanna Stadium. As other ideas have become unlikely, our focus has shifted to a graduation at Memorial Stadium, as was the traditional location likely for many of us on this call. Our date will remain the same. On Tuesday, June 8th, graduation will commence at 6:00 p.m. If we experience any type of inclement weather, the rain date for now will be the following day, Wednesday, June 9th at the same time. Based on our current capacity restrictions, our stadium will allow for approximately the same number of occupants as our auditorium traditionally would hold. That will allow us to provide 4 tickets to each graduate. In order to do that, we will need to use both the home and away bleachers. So our setup will be a little different than what you may remember if you have attended graduations at the stadium in the past. Even with the use of both sides, all social distancing guidelines would have to remain in place. With the green light from Mr. Barrett, conversations are already well underway for our preparations for the graduation ceremony, much of which has been guided by previous input from our community. In the upcoming days and weeks, this process is going to continue as we approach the end of the school year, including our upcoming conversations, or my upcoming conversations with student speakers. My expectation is that we will have more of these informational meetings prior to the end of the 2021 school year. And as Mr. Barrett said, we certainly encourage any thoughts from the folks on the call tonight, with possible contributions as we move forward.
Mr. Malloy, Mrs. Langdon is back on here. I wasn't sure if she had anything else to finish up.
Very good. Ms. Langdon, was there anything you wanted to add before we take some questions?
You're on mute. You're on mute again, Miss Langdon.
I apologize. As you can tell, I'm on a different device and I am very sorry to each and every one of you. I am very excited for the announcement of the several activities that we have coming up for our students. I will be in touch with each and every one of your students, and we will be working together, and we'll look for community support with the activities, and further announcements will be available on your students' Google Meet as well as on social media from the high school. That's all, Mr. Malloy, and thank you. And I do apologize to you guys for the technical difficulty on my end.
No, I would thank you and everybody that's joined us tonight, both parents and our folks on the call from the school. Again, that being said, any input from our community members?
Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
Okay, Ms. Jasler?
Yes. So what happened to looking into like the arena where we could have a larger family? I mean, these kids have missed out on so much, and now we're not going to be able to participate in their athletic awards. We're not going to be able to participate in their academic awards. Granted, I'm thankful that they are going to have them, but as parents and as a parent of this is my last child going through the school, it's a little disappointing that, you know, I have to pick and choose now also on who's going to go to graduation when other local schools are having it at the arena and they can have up to 6 or more people. Is that something that we looked into?
Yes, so this is something that we have looked into. And again, as I said, we are anxiously awaiting answers, but we're hosting this evening to, you know, take these recommendations and also inform you that, you know, we were receiving several questions as to whether anything was being planned. So the delay in their response getting back to us, again, may have as appeared, as I said in the beginning of this chat tonight, that there was inactivity going on. So right now we have not heard back on approval or denial. Plus, you know, there is a certain budget that we need to work with here. So I don't know what schools are working with there, but the price that they got back to me is very, very, very expensive. So I've asked them to reconsider, considering the size of our school and the graduating number. So that was also going to be a secondary consideration. So at this point, you know, we're still awaiting that decision based on both them and the New York Yankees.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning. I was leaving the baseball game, so sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
Hi, it's Sheila Mooney.
Go ahead, Sheila.
I have a question to ask. I'm flying my son in from California from the Marines. Is there a possibility that he would be able to give Abby her diploma in his dress blues?
If you don't mind, I'll jump in on this, Mr. Barrett. Okay. I can tell you traditionally, you know, we've allowed folks that were employed by the district on some occasions to award diplomas. You know, other than that, it's been folks that were traditionally those people, you know, handing the diplomas to somebody. But we have considered that in the past, and I hope I'm not going too far in saying, but that's certainly a situation that Mr. Barrett and I can discuss. You know, I'd be hesitant to give you a final decision right now, but I think I'm comfortable saying that we can discuss that certainly and get back to you.
I would love that. You know, Joey's an alumni of Hanover area, so I would love to have my Marine give my daughter her diploma.
I'm very proud of all of our graduates, especially those that have chosen a career in the military. So that certainly thank him for we'll thank him for his service.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Are there any other questions?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll try to host this approximately 1 month from now. So what I would encourage folks to do, I know that you wanted to first hear what the ideas were. Again, please make sure that if you have any ideas, recommendations, thoughts, please bring them to the table. This is absolutely an open forum that can most certainly be taken into consideration. Like I said, last year, you know, we incorporated a parade that someone had brought to the table. It was a great idea. So things of that nature to enhance on what we have planned or what we thought of, most certainly bring your ideas to this forum again. And if anybody's uncomfortable, you can place it in the chat. If you're uncomfortable speaking, place it in the chat or simply send emails and we'll bring them to the table on your behalf. So we most certainly want this to be, you know, an event that will be remembered. We're dealing with the situation that obviously our district, we would love to have, you know, everything that we're speaking of here, but we're unfortunately dealing with the circumstance that, you know, we have to make sure that everybody's protected and do what's best to keep everybody healthy, but try to make it the most beautiful night that we can make it within the confines and regulations that we're living under. So anybody else have any other recommendations or ideas, brainstorming? Let's see, we got one here. Yes, Mr. Malloy, we in the chat, the graduation signs.
Yeah, we've been in conversations already in regards to that, and we're kind of in process as we speak. So
great point, Joyce.
Yeah, this is well a surprise. So surprise.
Sorry, Mr. Malloy.
But
I didn't know it was a surprise. Cat's out of the bag.
No. But I think it went over very well last year and seemed like it was something the kids really enjoyed. So with the blessing of Mr. Barrett, of course, we were able to do that again this year. And so that is something that you'll be hearing more about. And that won't be the only thing. We have some other things of that nature too, in regards to how we're approaching the things that we are talking about. So there will be some other things too that'll be pleasant surprises as we move forward. So, but that's definitely one that I can speak to. You know, we're already in process on that, and you should be hearing more in the upcoming week or two.
Any other thoughts, ideas, brainstorming? Mrs. Kitchen, you seen anything? Really?
Nope.
All right, folks, seeing none, then I will, about 3 weeks from now, advertise another meeting. And if you have any ideas, write them down and then we'll brainstorm. Thanks to everyone. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second.
One more question just popped up, Mr. Barrett.
Group picture. If we have a final decision on the graduation ceremony at Memorial Stadium, the overhead drone would be the shot that would be the group photo of the class. In order to keep students socially distanced and get a group shot might be difficult unless we could do something prior to in the stands. But that's, again, another great idea. That's something I personally hadn't considered or thought about it. So Mr. Beloy might have thought of something, but if not, we'll bring this to the table again when the committee meets again. Good thought, Mr. Malloy?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Mrs. Kitchen and I shared some conversation about this very topic earlier today, and trying to figure out a way that might happen, but also talking about some of our other traditional pictures that we've done prior to graduation. So yeah, some form of a drone picture certainly would fit the bill in terms of what our limitations are at this point, or even in the circumstances of what the graduation is likely to look like. Perhaps even a picture from the top of Memorial looking down onto the field where the graduates are there might be something that's very memorable also.
And Mr. Barrett, this is Mike McCree again. We will be live streaming the graduation too on our YouTube page. We should have a nice shot from, you know, the press box. So we'll try to the best to accommodate the people that can't be here.
Great point. Okay, folks, so you'll be hearing from me. I'll send it out on social media in the next couple of weeks. And thank you for any input this evening. And everybody have a wonderful night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.